In a 2026 report, the Council on Foreign Relations issued a warning that India and Pakistan are currently on the precipice of a severe, potentially nuclear conflict. Driving this assessment is a specific military threat from Pakistan's defense minister, who warned that Islamabad is prepared to launch strikes on Kolkata. This metropolis sits over 1,000 miles from the traditional conflict zones of Kashmir, effectively expanding the potential theater of war across the entire subcontinent. The threat has created an immediate political crisis in West Bengal. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has publicly challenged the central government to respond, stating she will not allow a threat to her state's capital to go unanswered. Meanwhile, in New Delhi, the response from the Modi administration remains rigid. Their standing doctrine treats any cross-border terror attack as a direct act of war, requiring an immediate military response. Kolkata is in the crosshairs because of a 4-day war in 2025. Those 96 hours of combat overthrew the military calculations that had governed South Asia for 50 years. The shift began in April 2025, when a terror attack near the town of Pahalgam killed 26 civilians, most of them Hindu tourists. India's response, codenamed Operation Sindoor, broke decades of military convention. Instead of limiting its retaliation to the border, the Indian military launched strikes deep into the Pakistani province of Punjab. During this operation, India relied entirely on its own domestically developed technology and logistics. It was a demonstration that New Delhi no longer required foreign platforms or permission to execute a punitive deep strike mission. By utilizing BrahMos supersonic missiles and loitering munitions, the Indian military successfully bypassed Pakistan's air defense systems to hit targets previously considered unreachable. Operation Sindoor proved that India was willing to ignore historical red lines and strike anywhere it identified militant infrastructure, regardless of how deep it sat within Pakistani territory. Pakistan responded with Operation Bunyan-un-Marsoos, escalating the conflict into the first high-tech drone war between two nuclear powers. This data shows the scale of retaliation. Pakistan combined physical drone swarms with over 1.5 million cyber intrusions into Indian digital infrastructure. These coordinated attacks were designed to blind command centers and disable the advanced defense networks India relied on. During the engagement, Pakistan successfully utilized Chinese-made J-10C jets and PL-15 missiles to down multiple Indian aircraft, including a French-made Rafale. The rapid escalation forced an emergency intervention from the United States. Vice President G.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio held direct talks with both nations to broker a ceasefire before the conflict could reach a nuclear threshold. The 2025 conflict proved that India could strike deep into Pakistan and that Pakistan could retaliate with high-tech precision. With both nations now confident in their offensive capabilities, the restraint that once prevented a border skirmish from becoming a full-scale war has disappeared. In the aftermath of the war, the Pakistani military consolidated its domestic authority under Field Marshal Asim Munir. Munir has since implemented a more aggressive military framework. This doctrine, known as Asim Law, shifts Pakistan's strategic focus away from a single theater in the West. This map illustrates the new geographic pivot. By moving the threat vector to the east, Pakistan is targeting India's vulnerable eastern corridor through the porous border with Bangladesh. This strategy involves activating proxy groups like the JMB and Huji to carry out attacks within West Bengal, leveraging the fragile security situation in India's border states. Tactically, this multi-front approach forces New Delhi to divide its military resources and stretch its defenses, creating internal instability during sensitive regional elections. With Pakistan expanding the battlefield to the east and India committed to zero-hesitation retaliatory strikes, the mechanisms that previously prevented total war have failed. The next major provocation risks a multi-front nuclear exchange that neither side may be able to stop.